Hi there, I'm Ryan McConaughey, CTO at Barrier Networks, and I'm come to you today to address the use case one and how we can deal with efficiency and security and identity verification. So our solution is comprised of kind of two core elements involving Sumsub technologies and vKey, and the idea is to provide an end-to-end, all-in solution that speeds up the onboarding and verification of customers and helps secure them at the endpoint as well. And with that, I'm going to hand over to Darnell to present the Sumsub piece.
Thank you. So in the interest of time, we are going to go through a demonstration, but it's a KYC demonstration for retail customers. However, the solution also incorporates KYB as well. So you're not having to log into one system and then another. So what we've done is filled in all of the information. It does have language as well. So we appreciate that some of you will be onboarding international customers. So within the API, you can quickly change it. It's super easy. So here we go. As we're going through, name, all of the basic information. Now, naturally, you can customize this as you see fit. So you can have multiple workflows as well. So whether it's a savings product, a mortgage product, whatever you like, you can have various different ones all within there. We can do the email check as well to validate that the email is a valid email address. For ease, we've just, again, kept it super simple. Now, we, throughout the calls with a lot of the financial institutions, were talking and touching on deep fakes and AI. Within the technology, we have that within there. So you might do liveness checking to ensure that it is the same customer coming back to you, or is it a fraudster trying to do an account takeover? So that was a really quick run through. What we're now looking at is the back office. So one audit trail for everybody within the organization to see what's gone on, the various different events within there. Naturally, you can lock it down to ensure that certain departments can see certain things and obviously can't see certain things as well. What you'll see is a risk labels. So whilst I was doing the test, I was using a VPN, selfie labels, naturally, because it's me and I'm doing it. There were a number of them that have gone through, but we can also do the cross-referencing and checks. So if you ask the customer to supply a document, then we would also cross-reference face on the document matches the person presenting the document as well. Really good if we go back to our case of a corporate, you know, behind all corporates, SMEs or bigger institutions, there is an individual that sits behind there. You don't have to, again, call out to various different systems. You can do it all within the one. As we move on, you'll also be able to see the information taken. So again, if a document has been collected and we can validate the document, which we have over 14,000, and also the ability to do machine reading, we can collect all of that in the various different fields, and then that will quickly populate those fields. As we move on, you'll see this guy here and the various different dupes that are within the system. So the duplications are the other times when I've been in. Sometimes it can be a good thing. We work across various different industries. So sometimes it can be a bad thing, like bonus abuse if they're trying to get a free bet each time. As we move on to the next one, it is finally the networks. So the networks are, again, can we across your own entire ecosystem, because this was another thing that we heard a lot of, the various different departments can't also always see their same customer. Well, you might be able to, obviously, if you allow that within the system, we can do so. But we've also got our AI lab as well. So the AI lab, quite kind to me, puts me as 5 years younger in terms of the age estimator. But if you also put a document in, we'll scan the document and look for the digital tampering within the document as well. So this is a really, really quick whistle-stop tour of what goes on behind the scenes. But hopefully the takeaway will be that what we're presenting today is an all-in-one solution, rather than having to internally knit various different pieces of tech together.
Cheers, Donnell. So I'm coming back to the security aspect for dealing with mobile devices. Quick show of hands for people in the room whose customers are using mobile devices quite heavily. Yeah, okay, a few. Still has applicability when we're talking about using a mobile device as an additional layer of security to get into maybe a web portal. So I want to kind of focus in on one of the limitations we see with the likes of facial ID that's maybe embedded in the device or other biometrics. So typically exclusive to the device, multiple devices, multiple registrations. The servers don't know the true identity, and kind of drilling into what I mean here, it's entirely possible if you're using, for example, fingerprint biometrics on a device, that you've got a second fingerprint registered there. And that could be someone else's. Maybe it could be my wife. She's got my phone. She's registered there. She could access my accounts because you control the app, but the biometric handoff says this person's okay to use the app. And then if we lose a device, we have to go through the friction of re-registration. And that can be maybe trivial, but could be quite involved. So the way the VK kind of tackles these different problems is we're going to take facial biometrics and we're going to convert your face into a private key, store that on the server. So good news from compliance perspective is you're not storing facial information on your servers. It's just a private key. And that means that the person can move from device to device without needing to re-register these devices. They're using their face as their digital password. And they're using a digital password. They don't need to remember a real one. They just need to have their face. Hopefully they still have their face. Underpinning this, we've got the VKey OS, and this runs as a sort of container. Secure against compromised devices. So even if the person is running a really old device that's made, so if they're running a compromised device, we're secure against that. The data in the container is encrypted, and it has tamper detection and will alert users and potentially your organization that someone has a compromised device. Questions? Because we're running short on time, sorry.
Elaine McLaughlin from TSB. I was just interested a bit more in how you deal with deepfakes and identification of that.
It's obviously something that comes up quite often. So the technology will look at the filters that people are using. So Snapchat is a great app, which obviously was meant for fun, but fraudsters took it to where they do. That's within the technology. The AI technology will look at things like that. So we test it regularly for deepfakes. As the video goes on, we'll look at interesting features, and we'll also look at the background, not just the individual as well, because we found that fraud networks will try that to obviously get over the facts as well. So it is something that we're seeing a lot of because we play across a number of different sectors.